more famous men and women of African heritage, we are seldom, if ever, made aware of their peers, those unsung heroes of African descent, those countless others, real people that history has overlooked. Throughout time, persons of African lineage have made invaluable contributions to mankind. World history is replete with documentation of these incredibly outstanding and heroic individuals. The oft-times negative and stereotypic images of blacks in general that have permeated the media have never given a balanced view. TV and movies still offer portrayals not too flattering of a historically great and proud people. This documentary recognizes and explores many heroes who in many instances and against all odds achieved great heights in their areas of expertise. You know, it's like the old saying goes, you've got to know where you've been in order to know where you are going. All throughout the history of the world, rulers, warriors, and revolutionaries of African descent were great potentates, soldiers, and people who have changed the world for the better, brave and unswerving in every struggle, whether it be for the people or against an adversary. These heroes sometimes gave their lives as the supreme sacrifice. Moshesh was a progressive and intellectual South African ruler of the Basotho nation. His army defeated encroaching Europeans during the 19th century. Menelik II united warring tribes of Ethiopia in order to defeat the Italians in 1896. He forced Italy to recognize Ethiopia as an independent nation. Toussaint Louverture was a Haitian revolutionist who led a slave revolt on the French half of the island in 1791. Louis Sheridan Leary was one of the historic freedom fighters by John Brown's side at Harper's Ferry. Even as a youth, born of free parents, he hated slavery. Leary traveled from Fayetteville, North Carolina to Oberlin, Ohio, and made his living as a saddle designer. Mark Vesey, born in Haiti, was sold into slavery when he was about 10 years old. In 1822, he planned a slave revolt in Charleston, South Carolina, which was discovered before it happened. Vesey, along with 32 of his lieutenants, were tried and hanged. Although Vesey had bought his freedom years earlier when he won a lottery, he gave his life attempting to free others. Although born in Kentucky, Charles Young is best known as an Ohio native. As a military hero, he served in the Spanish-American War and taught military tactics at Wilberforce University. Later, Young was the military attaché to Liberia, Africa. After 1493, Akil Muhammad Touré, progressive reform ruler of West Africa, established loyalty with his administrative officials, placed the army on a professional basis, and practiced tolerance towards Jews and Christians. Banking, credit, and commerce were supported by new laws, and a lucrative system of trade was conducted with the Arab traders of the north and east of Africa. Akil also had canals built to irrigate the farmlands. Henrique Diaz, born a slave in Brazil, rose to the rank of general. He helped to liberate his people from Dutch rule in the 17th century. Negro Abraham sought refuge with the Seminole Indians in the 1800s.
became a diplomat for the Seminoles, acting as their spokesman in U.S. and Indian affairs. Henry Ocean Flipper was the first black graduate of West Point Military Academy. He won the appointment while attending Atlanta University. Flipper served in the U.S. Cavalry, became a chief engineer and surveyor of public land in Mexico. Later, he worked as an agent for both the Departments of Justice and the Interior. The 54th Massachusetts Black Regiment were famous for their charge on Fort Wagner in the 1863 Civil War battle. Frederick Douglass's sons, Charles and Lewis, were soldiers in this unit. Benjamin Pap Singleton led the exodus to John Brown's Kansas, or the Freed Lands. Pap was referred to as Moses by those he helped to resettle. In 1916, black troopers of the U.S. Cavalry, part of an expedition of soldiers sent to capture rebel bandit Pancho Villa in Mexico, were forced to live off the land while in hot pursuit of Villa. The Mustang Group were the first African-American servicemen to be admitted into the Air Force pilot training program. They flew dangerous air missions in Italy during the Second World War. Milton Olive III was the first black soldier to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor in the Vietnam conflict. Olive displayed extraordinary heroism when he threw himself on a live grenade to save the lives of several other soldiers. The 369th Infantry of the 93rd Division fought in the trenches 191 days during World War I. Germans dubbed them the Hellfighters because of their tenacity. On December 19, 1863, Frank Leslie's illustrated newspaper, published in New York, printed a front-page picture of the 1st Mississippi Black Cavalry, bringing captured Confederate prisoners into Vicksburg, Mississippi.